Okay. Yes, it will. It should go live now.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. We're gonna begin now. Welcome everyone. Who's okay. Yes, it will. It should go live now. Okay. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Yes. We're gonna. Can you now? Welcome everyone. Yes, it will. At the same time. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody has to mute the YouTube.
Yes. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, that was Ashmit. But okay, without further ado, guys, welcome everyone. Welcome our guest panelists as well, Urmi Kotari and Mr. Shoki Malik, to be here and supporting these young students in their entrepreneurial journey, and hopefully we'll get some good comments after each project. Urmi and Shoki, please feel free to jump in with any questions or comments that you might have related to the project. We'll give you sort of 60 seconds to 120 seconds, couple of minutes for your comments and questions, and we move on to the next project afterwards. We've got a great lineup, and I hope that you enjoy these projects as much as we enjoyed working through them with all of these students. For all the parents and anyone who's out there, welcome to the Early Entrepreneurship Program 2021. We had an amazing group of students. It was a 7-day business program which started with ideation, market research, design thinking, business modeling, social entrepreneurship, and fundraising as themes for each day. And today is the final day where you're going to see the culmination of all the hard work of all of these students who come from 20 different cities from around the country. Just want to let everyone know that even though, of course, this project was a big part of this entire program, this is just a very small, small set of what we try to do here. Hopefully, these kids have learned a lot of skill sets, networked with some of the top entrepreneurs from around the world, and hopefully today will be a short snippet of what they have achieved in the last week. So thank you everyone who's joining us today. We'll start with our group 4. Anyone who wants to start and share their screen, and we'll move on with our presentations. I hope that all of you guys are on YouTube Live as well, and please make sure that you comment, you ask any questions that you might want to ask these students, and at the same time, please do support them. Moving forward to our first group, which is group number 4.
I'll be sharing my screen.
Good evening. I welcome all of you with a warm namaste. Here at Reward, we aim at bringing the culture and traditions in the past and support small traditionally occupied businesses in the period of rapid globalization. Indian handicrafts industry is a source of livelihood for millions of people and contribute a major part towards employment. Sorry, one second. Rising input costs, credit problems, lack of modernization, migration, poor infrastructure, inadequate development are leading to the close of few small-scale businesses all around the country. Why? All these problems root up to a single cause: lack of proper assistance to reach out to a wide market. Their products are restricted only to the localities. To tackle this problem, we came up with a solution that provides assistance and practical know-how for the rural small businesses. We create a platform to sell their products through our website to a wide range of customers. More simply, we act as the middle agent. Now, there's a common myth. When middle agents are involved, it is believed that the prices will increase when the product reaches the final consumer, and producers are deprived of their accurate cost. Our revenue model has been customized to their needs, which will shortly be discussed. So stay tuned.
What is our purpose? We aim at providing the maximum benefits to the traditionally established rural businesses so that they don't migrate to urban areas searching for better work or close their business. In the current scenario, keeping all the socio-economic factors in mind and the gradual decrease in the handicraft sector, it has made the government adopt some policies and release funds. Practically, these funds never reach the rural or help them grow their businesses.
Before we jump into the concept of target audience, I would like to mention that the Indian handicraft industry is showing a continuous growth rate of 20% every year. According to the National Census of Handicrafts undertaken by National Council for Applied Economic Research, the value of handicrafts produced last year were of rupees 26,213 crores. We will generally be focusing on premium audience at first, and that is where we specifically target metropolitan cities. We will also be focusing on tourists as we have a huge demand abroad. India's share in international handicrafts is just about 2%, while the estimated value of the world's handicraft market is US dollars 235 billion. Out of a sample survey we have conducted, we have got 84 responses in total, which totally approximately comprises of 70 adults. And our estimated total addressable market rests at 74%, and our served available market ranges from 35 to 65%. And our target market generally focuses on the millennial Generation Y and Generation Z who are into sustainability, art, and craft.
And now there are many e-commerce websites present online, and for handicraft and handlooms, traditional handlooms, we do have a couple of websites like India Mart, Engrave, and Ethnic Pip, which are well-known e-commerce websites for traditional handlooms. But there are still drawbacks in these Indian Mart, Engrave, or Ethnic Pip, because in an e-commerce website, sellers would like to know the transparency on their product sale. The customers need a trust, belief that we have to connect with them. So now in the coming slide, you will come to know the unique selling point of how we at Rivas are different from all the other competitors. So Arnika.
Yeah. Our unique selling points are we provide transparency between the seller and the buyer. That is, we generally don't compromise on the quality of the product and at the same time provide the origin of the products and how are they made to the audience. We make sure that the sellers get their rightful profits. Like the general objective of our business is to provide accurate profits to the producers. And we not only make fruitful relations with the producer, we not only make relations with the customer, but we also make fruitful relations with the seller.
Now, coming to the very interesting concept, the revenue model for e-commerce website. Our revenue model is quite simple. It is based on two pillars. That's it. It's based on the premium membership, in which a customer has to pay a monthly subscription. It's a monthly subscription model for a customer, in which they get fast delivery access, and then no delivery charges need to be paid by them. They have the right targeted ads on their products, on what they would like and from where they would like. And the other form of revenue is the product sale. So the product sale is we charge a commission of 20% on sale of each product, and the rest 80% of the sale goes to the to the seller, and the seller has to give an estimated of 15 to 20% for the delivery charges need to be paid by the seller itself to transport, to manage the logistical aspect.
Now, from a marketing point of view, we'll be using 4 ways to market our product. First is social influencers. We are going to contact social influencers who have the same vision as us, the vision of keeping the flame of tradition burning, and market our product through them. Since we are a startup, we will be contacting nano and micro influencers for this task. We have already contacted a few influencers describing our idea, and they reverted saying they would love to work on a project as such. The main purpose that is achieved through these influencers is that they market our product to our targeted audience, that is, people interested in traditional goods. We are also going to use search engine marketing to market our website. We are going to do this by incorporating relevant keywords, use SEO, and register ourselves in local directories to reach maximum engagement. We all know newspapers is something that is incorporated in every Indian's routine. So we are going to use paid ads to reach and to attract our viewers' attention. We are also going to use email marketing. When customers click on our website, a dialog box will appear. This dialog box requires their email address. This will sign them up for offers, special discounts, and a newsletter. The main purpose of this technique is to turn potential customers into loyal customers. Over to Pratham.
Now, as you all can see, we have decided upon three key indicators to help examine our company's growth and also provide insight for the future. So firstly, how will we navigate our customer's journey? Since our service is purely digital, it is very important for us to make the experience as comfortable as possible. By navigating our customer's journey, it is going to be easier for us to understand what part of our website has a bug that needs to be fixed and make it the most user-friendly website. Secondly, we will keep a constant eye on the sales of our product. By looking at the sale trends of our products, we can gain an insight on which products are in high demand and which are less in demand. Through this, we can conveniently understand our customers' choices, preferences, likes, and dislikes. Thirdly, there will be key emphasis on the feedback and surveys since our team values customers' comfort and satisfaction and wants to provide the best service. After every purchase, the customer will be asked about their shopping experience. The questions will vary from whether they liked our service to would they shop with us again, and if not, then why.
This is a brief outline on how we plan to navigate our journey. In 1.5 months, we plan to build an attainable target audience. In 2 months, we launch our website for the very first time. In 5 months, we connect traditionally rich states to the customers. In 1 year, we plan on increasing sales in metropolitan cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Cochin, etc. And in the time period between 1.5 years to 2 years, we branch out to the US.
And that is our team introducing our team. So we would be very happy to take up any questions if there are any.
Okay, Team Rivas, thank you so much for the presentations where you're trying to be the building block between, your sort of traditional handicrafts and the customers in India. At this point of time, Shoki would love to have first comments from you and then over to Urmi. And please feel free to give comments and ask questions to these people and maybe where you feel that they're faltering and can make up for it.
Okay, hi guys. I like the idea. Like overall, I think it makes complete sense. There is already a sentiment built for Make in India, and I think this is a true example of Make in India initiative, where you're truly bringing in the product from the manufacturer and giving it to the seller. I have my 2 cents on this. Can you go back on your slide? Just one. Just go back, please. Go back once more. Yeah, this is what I want to pinpoint. So when you look at growth metrics, feedback and surveys, when you send it to your customers who's already, so first of all, you can only send it to somebody who's already interacted with you, right? So that's the easiest part because you already know that some way or the other they have participated. Your real brand value or growth actually matters people who have seen your brand over the period of time, but never became a part of your ecosystem. Now they are talking about your brand, maybe somewhere on Facebook or on Twitter or on WhatsApp or some conversation which is not gathered here. So one way of looking at your growth metric is look at what sentiment your brand is building in the market right now, because that will give you an idea of what is the common recall or the sentiment of my brand. How are they perceiving my brand? What they're talking about? What are the words that they're using? on the internet. Basically, you have to capture the sentiment from every little digital piece. It could be an Instagram post, somebody commented on your Instagram post, or your ad for that matter. Now, consolidate that. That is a very critical metric to look at from a growth standpoint, because there are two aspects of growth when you look at. One is revenue, that you've already said, sales per month. The other one is, I would let's say call it brand awareness or brand recall, or brand health. Now, what is that brand health? Because as you move forward, when you make it live, more and more you're getting into a competitive environment, right? So how will you win over your competition is when you become a brand, not when you start selling your products, right? So focus on growth metrics should be, how can I be a brand that people will um, uh, you know aspire to engage with, right? For example, Apple. Why do we choose Apple over other products? It's just certain kind of trust they have built. Now they are more expensive than Android phones, but still people do not. They avoid. They just skip that pricing part because there is an affinity with the brand, right? You need to look at when you look at growing a brand. Look at how can you build relationship with your customer. That should be your growth metric. Revenue is an outcome of your relationship, right? They will purchase with you if you have a great relationship. You don't even have to look at monthly sales. So yeah, that's it. I think otherwise I like the whole idea. I think marketing is also pretty concise. I like influencer marketing, which is low hanging fruit. It's easier, reach out to maximum people, minimum investment. Yeah, I think pretty good job with this.
Okay, and any comments from Urmi as well? Okay, I'm not sure if Urmi can hear me.
You're on mute, Urmi.
Hello. Hi.
Yes.
Hi, guys. So I honestly really like the name Rivaz. It's also, uh, it stands out even in terms of recall, and your concept is also quite good. There are one or two questions I have. Can you take your slide back to the target audience? Yeah. So, and there was a slide which I don't know where it was exactly, where you mentioned the age group between the generation Y and the generation Z. So I also, keeping in mind the target audience as well, how can you educate this target audience about these different traditional products, what is there on your website? And another question is, what if there were a couple of keywords that you would have to name for your SEM, what would those be?
Anyone wants to take that, Apala? Yeah.
Okay. So for the ma'am, could you just repeat your first question if you don't mind once again?
How do you plan to educate your target audience about why should they be going for either your portal or for these kind of products in general, like overall?
So I might be able to respond to the product aspect. Haven't looked at the portal aspect as of yet, but as I'm looking at the product aspect, if a customer, it's like in any e-commerce website, you just have the product, and it's like a very short where you use it. But in the whole beauty of traditional products is that you have a history with it.
Correct.
So when you have a history with it, our website aims at educating people that if you're buying, suppose, a pashmina shawl, so a brief gist about pashmina shawls history is this, and this is the speciality. Each product in traditional products, you have a lot of unique selling points. So in pashmina razai, it's like you feel warmth whenever it's really cold, even though it's very thin. So like that, we educate people on the product they buy. So it's like an informative process as well as a fun and inviting process. And going to the second aspect, what is the second aspect?
Just can you name three keywords that you would like to use, if I were to say that you would use in your SEM? since you already mentioned that you would be using service engine marketing,
Yes.
I would
search engine marketing.
Yes. Yes, Hipasha.
the keywords like Indian, traditional, handicrafts, online, these words would capture the right audience immediately. So I think those would be the most relevant keywords.
And just adding on to Hipasha, like if we go to the aspect of combining Hindi and English, the basic concept of English, the whole term of rivas makes sense because that itself is your SEM's biggest word you can keep. So that is what, from my aspect, that can also be a word for SEM marketing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I just want to add I really liked your answer to the first question. So maybe you would like to add it in your USP as well, that you are also, apart from giving a purchase experience to your target audience, you're also imparting a different kind of a know-how. So maybe you can add that as part of your USP.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you so much. Great to know, Valerie and Apala. Great answers on the SEO, and thank you, our mentors who are so upfront asking these questions. Would love to hear more of your comments in the coming presentations. So, moving over to Rivaz now, it's time for Group One to start sharing your screen and share with us your presentation. Moving forward.
Good evening to all. I'm Harshvardhan, and on behalf of Fiona, Siddharth, Isha, Ishan, and myself, I would like to welcome you on board our presentation.
Right. So while you read through the table of contents, I'd like you to generally introduce the whole concept of onboard. So our main aim and our main service is making the process of going on board, going on board a plane very easy and very efficient for you. And that is how we came up with a name. So that's the whole thing. And Siddharth will take it forward.
Hello everyone, I'm Siddharth and I'll take you forward through the problem and the solution slides. So, what was the problem that we found? In India, the visa application process is a very hectic one. It is very difficult to go through the long process and get accepted for the visa. People don't feel comfortable to go through such a long process by their own. Plus, they have other work as well. So they find another way to save on time. They take help of travel agents who take an unreasonable large sum of money for this visa application process. So there is no other easier way? No, we do have a solution to this issue. We, the team of Onboard Visa Services, have come up with an idea of an easy digital platform which will be having no complex user interface and it would be really easy to use. We as a team will complete all the processes of visa application and help in saving time and effort of the customer. Over to Rihanna.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be taking you through some of the companies that will give us competition. VisaHQ.com, ThomasCook.in, iVisa.com, IDP.com, VisaLounge.com, VisaFirst.com, and VFSGlobal.com. So for any new business to survive, there are 6 factors of competitive advantages that should be looked into. So some of them are location, speed or turnaround, service, quality, and price. So for our business, we'll be working towards the following competitive advantages. The first one is 24/7 operations, all 365 days, multiple payment options available on the site, development of a mobile app, access to new and proprietary technology, and ability to best quality services at the lowest cost.
There are more and more people in India that are gaining access to internet and Wi-Fi every day. The number of people who need a visa to travel abroad is also on the rise. And this is why we think that it is the perfect time to set up this company and that we should embrace it in every place possible so that it is an easier process for people and tourists to apply for a visa. Of course, this is going to be after the COVID-19 pandemic. So there are about 1.38 billion people in India, out of which 21 million are tourists. And out of these tourists, 42% use travel agents for their visa requirements. From about 100 people, 42 would say that they use travel agents. This 42% is our TAM, that is the total addressable market. We are focusing on our TAM that use travel agents instead of looking at all the tourists.
Right. So our main product will have two kinds of form factors. One of the form factors is a very basic, simple product that is in practice right now. Also, obviously, the client comes to our website. If he likes what is there on the website, Rihanna, could you just go back to the previous slide? Thank you. If he likes the product on the website, he'll give his details, his email, phone number, and with immediate effect, we'll contact him, we'll resolve his query, and the lodging of the file and the whole process will continue as such. So that is how we plan to make it more efficient. Now the second form factor is the one that we are basically focusing on. It is our most ambitious and the most user friendly form factor that we as a group of 5 people could think of. It works in a very simple and efficient way that makes applying for a visa as simple as, say, online shopping. So when you are a customer, you are a client, you go to the website of the application, you press the button, you press the portal of the continent you want to go in, you press the portal of the country you want to go in, then you select the visa type, and that's about it. You check out, and we straight away lodge your file. So it becomes as simple as that. It basically, we are emulating an online shopping service for a visa product. So we basically say an Amazon or an Oyo for visa services, for that matter. Could you please go on to the next slide, Rihanna? Thank you. So we begin with a niche product that is a tourist visa, specifically for less accessible countries, wherein countries such as say Colombia, wherein you need to go to the embassy itself to get your visa lodged. So countries in South America and in say Southeast Asia, wherein the tourist visa service is not that accessible and it's not laid out, not as laid out as compared to the say the United States or the UK or a Schengen visa. Once we create trust with customers, we offer them more products. We offer them more visa types. We offer them more countries, say a business visa for Australia or a Canada PR, and so on and so forth, right? And then we tie up with other organizations, travel agents, etc. And once we do that, our main aim and our fundamental target is to eventually grow into an all-in-one travel destination for any kind of person who just wants to go on board. So that is how it works. Thank you.
Evening, everyone. To start with, I'll talk about our revenue sources. So we're going to have a few key areas through which we'll generate revenue, the first of which is through adverts. We'll have a website, and on that website, we'll place some adverts. This is actually a great source of revenue because Google AdSense pays for each click one gets on their website, so a pay-per-click scheme. We actually spent a while deliberating on whether we should have ads or not. Would they be annoying, or is it okay to have them? But in the end, we decided to have them, because at this point in the 21st century, everyone is so used to seeing ads that consumer behavior is unlikely to differ based on an ad or two here or there. Our second revenue source will be the commission we take from each of our customers whenever we make a sale. And this brings me onto our price, which will vary depending on the customer and the country that the customer wants to get a visa for. Our price will consist of an application fee that we'll have to pay to the embassy, as well as our commission, which will be 10% of the total application fee. Now moving on to our marketing strategy and sales pipeline. People can buy our service either using our website or our app. And as we've learned over the past week, it's very important to offer good, clear content on a website in order to convince the customer that the product you're offering really is the best. And with respect to how we plan on converting a lead into a customer, so our sales pipeline, it revolves around attracting two types of customers. As a company, our aim would be to not constantly focus all our energy on how to attract new customers, but instead also focus a lot on those who visited our website and left their contact details, or those who have used our services before. For example, we'll routinely contact those who left their details, not always asking them if they have a requirement for our service, because that may just annoy them, but instead with newsletters, festival messages, or even a general checkup message to see how they're doing. We feel like a large number of our customers will be returning customers, as we will offer tourism visas after all, and people do tend to go on holiday after every set period of time. Once they see how easy the process is with us, then we're sure they'll love to come back. But to attract new customers, our plan is as follows. Firstly, talking about discovery intent, wherein customers just stumble across our ads through social media or other platforms. We need these ads to be effective and pull customers towards our website, because once they actually click on our website, once they visit it, they're quite likely to read our content and perhaps even leave their contact details. These types of customers are not likely to want to purchase our service at that particular instant of time, as they most likely stumbled across our website through social media or another medium as such. However, they are great potential future customers. Now moving on to a rich snippet. So for those of you who haven't heard of this term before, it's basically that little bit of information you see when you Google a page before you click it. So on the right-hand side of the screen, that's the rich snippet for Google itself, the part that has a box around it. So it's crucial for this to be good, as this is the first impression that customers with search intent, that being those who are actively looking for a service as ours, will see while browsing through Google. If this is clear and effective, customers are likely to click on our site. What we aim to say in this one-odd line that we have is what makes us different from the rest of the competition out there. I've already covered what will happen when a customer clicks on our website to some extent, but to put it simply, if they're just looking for our services, they can go right ahead and purchase them. Or if they're just browsing or stumbled upon our page through social media or other mediums, they can look at what we have to offer and then perhaps leave their contact details when we urge them to, or even email us the inquiry or phone us directly. Just like many other businesses, we believe that a great customer service will really take us a long way, something which our marketing strategies, now and into the future, are likely to revolve around. So this slide, it talks about who we all are. So we'll just let you all go through it for 15 seconds. Yep, and the next slide. And these are our other two members. And with that, I'd like to thank you all for listening to us today, and I hope you liked our proposal.
Questions are welcome.
Okay, thank you, team on board. Over to our mentors. First, we can start this time with Urmi, and then over to Shoki.
Thank you, Rishi. Thank you, guys, for a really clear presentation. By the way, I love the graphics, really pretty cool. I have actually one question is, since you, like you said, like people are now, the proportion of people going abroad is increasing. How would you cater to different socioeconomic groups? Because depending on the spending power of each level of customer, they will have different demands, even on the duration or the kind of countries they would like to visit. So how would you give any kind of special services? Is there any different tiers of services that you have? Have you thought about that?
As of now, Harshvardhan, would you like to do it, or should I answer the question?
You can go ahead. Go ahead.
As of now, we're only focusing on a very niche audience that would like to go to a specific set of countries. When that happens, once we are able to build our trust with those customers, then we'll open services such as, let's just say a customer just wants to go abroad, a client just wants to go abroad, and then we'll open our communication services with him. And he specifically asks us for guidance. He specifically asks us to guide him where he is to go and where he does not have to go. That will happen at a later stage of the business. Right now, we are focusing on a very specific set of people who specifically want to go to certain countries, and we cater them just because of the fact that going to those countries is not as efficient as going to some other countries. It's just not that easy, right?
So once, I get that.
Yes.
My question is, who are these kind of people? Can you describe them?
Yeah. So if I may go ahead here. So basically, our target addressable market, it doesn't really include the people who already know how to file the visas, right? Because for many countries, you can file the visa on your own online. So we're going to be catering to the socioeconomic classes who normally, for example, you can't really file a visa application through a phone. So you need to have a bare minimum, like a laptop or a bit of a bigger screen in order to enter all the details. So the socioeconomic class who have access to phones, but they normally go to travel agent just to make their life a bit easier. So I hope that answers your question.
Okay, thank you. Over to Shoki.
Hey guys, now I like the idea. Go back. Can you take me back? Just keep sliding. Yeah, I'll stop you where I'm supposed to stop here. Please go back. Go forward. This is good. Next. Yeah, next, please. Yeah, this is. So your first is begin with a niche product tourist visa for less accessible countries. I mean, when you start a business, you look at low-hanging fruit first. Your low-hanging fruit is somebody who is easily available as your consumer who can consume it. You define your niche as you move forward, not you define your niche right now. You have to be open. See, you're providing a service where you do not want to have barriers right at the entry, where you will see dropouts. You don't have trust right now in the market, right? So when you go very specific, then you try and build trust. Your first customer acquisition will be so long that you will get frustrated or you will pivot, and that's the word every entrepreneur goes through, that, oh, I can pivot at this point because this is not working, let me just maneuver. And the pivoting is that let's go for low hanging fruit. So you waste your 6 months and then go back to square one, which you could have done at point one. So always look at what is your low hanging fruit when you try and open your product for the market, because it's easier. They are used to this process. It's quickest, right? It's quick. Delivery is when you deliver more and more people. How do you build trust? When more and more people experience your service, not by sending XYZ messages on social media, right? It's experience. Trust gets built when someone uses that your experience, your product, and he or she talks about your product to someone else, and like, hey, you should go, visit these guys. That's how you build trust. So I think rather than going for less accessible countries, which basically lowers down your TAM that you said was 42%. Here further, if you go less accessible countries, the TAM becomes almost 0 some percent. So you are in 42% also, you are catering to really, really small amount of people. So I think you may want to look at the other way around. Try, build, look at, open it for bigger chunk of people. As you move forward, find your niche, build on that niche, because then you have tried and tested different people around, right? So that's one. Can you go forward, please? Yeah. AdSense commission. I mean, I am not a big fan of AdSense because what happens is that you are providing a set of service, and as you said, that more and more people are getting to know this is ad. Overall sentiment of ad is not to trust these guys because they're making money out of our clicks. You getting my point? So if you want to build trust and you want to sell ads at the same time, I don't think that will just work out very well, because you're selling a very important service, right? I would rather have stronger commission network with your, have loyalty program as your stronger revenue source. That if someone else brings us, let's say, a visa consultant or a contractor or XYZ freelancer people, if they join travel agents, they join your ecosystem. Maybe you have like how Uber does with their drivers, right? So you bring them integrate Google model that you facilitate for us, because at the end of you are going to be making a chain for the network, right? So once you start giving them, and they start giving you business from their lead, and you start taking commission, that becomes a larger than life product, right? So yeah, these two things. I think I loved. If you go further, I love this part. People don't really value rich snippet. I think I'm a big fan of rich snippet, because this is a very subtle way of marketing, but one of the most impactful way. Because for real, if you want to go search for anything, let's say XYZ service, you read the first line, and within this 2-3 seconds, you take a call whether I want to click here or scroll down to the next one. Right, so this plays an extremely important role in figuring this out. But do you know? Okay, a question on this: do you know how to edit these rich snippets? How do you push these rich snippets to Google?
No, unfortunately, we don't at the moment.
Okay, this is called Google Search Console. It's a dashboard that Google gives you, and you can create rich snippets, feed these inputs to Google so that Google can render your page accordingly. Right, so yeah, that's important, guys. Yeah, I think rest. It's an interesting. It's a real problem that we have. Your TAM is pretty big. Opportunity is pretty massive. Good luck with this.
Couple of comments from my side as well. Guys, can you go back to the previous slide? So first thing, like, great job on the TAM. I mean, you guys really nailed it. Like, you know, how you've come up to like your total addressable market. Two things. I mean, with the ad sense, like, you know, if you do not know what you're trying to do at the end of the day, ads are annoying, firstly, for a lot of people. And you have worked so hard to bring traffic onto your website. Do you want people to click on the ad and leave the website at some point? Why would you do that? Right? So, I mean, that's something that you really need to think about and say that, okay, there's a product that you're selling and you do not want to distract them. And that's one of the primary reasons why you do not see any advertisement on websites like, you know, Make My Trip, on Go Ibibo, etc. There are very few. They're very serious about what kind of advertisements that are there. And they're typically promoting their own offers in terms of discounts or whatever they're trying to do, right? Second thing is, if you do want to take the ad route, right? I mean, that's something that you do want to take. So that's where you do something called as an A/B test, where you're testing out how many people are actually looking at spending time on these advertisements and giving you the kind of revenue that you're going to be generating. So if you're doing any sort of a product which is online and you do not know where you're going to make the money out of, start doing these smaller tests and seeing the results of them. So that's pretty much it from my end.
Okay, thank you all the mentors for your valuable comments, and thank you team on board for a beautiful presentation. We'll move on to our team number 3.
Good evening all, namaste and assalamu alaikum. First, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce my spectacular team, comprising of Jatavati Das, Arman, Tanisha, and also Arman Puri, and myself, Jadur Kapoor, who's going to speak to you about Meraki. So Meraki, when we think about the word, what comes or pops into our mind? It's the love, the affection, or the essence that we bring into our work. It's that we worship our work like no one other. We know what we have to do and what are gonna be the guidelines. So what Meraki is gonna do, I'm gonna just brief you guys about it. So it's all about fashion. We're gonna bring sustainability into our everyday fashion and also think about the people who are socially unaccepted in our society, as people say, like people who have ever experienced traumatic incidents, or their body shamed. You're too fat, you're too slim, you don't have the right to be a model, you don't have the right to show your face to the world. So we are going to talk for those people. We are going to be the voices for those people. And as Rishi sir always tells us, we are the budding entrepreneurs. And I can assure you that by listening to the influential mentors, like for the past week, we, the budding entrepreneurs of Meraki, are going to flower into something magnificent, which you guys will all see. So I'm going to just hand it over to Tanisha.
Okay, so
firstly, when we're talking about our solution, first we have to think about all the problems that we're facing. So these are some of the problems that we come up with, and I'm gonna go through them one by one. So firstly, in the textile industry, if we look at water pollution, it is the second largest polluter of water worldwide, and it produces 70% of the world's wastewater. So when contaminated water is used for drinking and other purposes, people get infected with various diseases, and aquatic life is also seriously affected. So as a consumer, a powerful way to prevent this is through your shopping habits. Fashionable and cheap textiles may be amusing, but they are not eco-friendly. Secondly, if we look at an issue which is people being alienated by society, whether this contributes to racism, prejudice, people treating people with disability differently, or victims of certain traumas that have to go through so much. So many people are treated differently, and they may not fit up to society standards, which are ridiculously high to begin with. These people are bullied, body shamed, and discriminated against. This can lead to a lot of insecurity that builds up in their and damages their mental health. So we have taken it upon us to come up with a way to boost their self-confidence as well. And thirdly, if you look at the problem that we're all facing is stubble burning, which is very prominent in India, especially northern India. It has been a major cause of air pollution, but efforts to stop it has failed every year. So according to some estimates, farmers in northern India burn about 23 million tons of paddy stubble every year. So we've also come up with a solution to help combat this problem. Fourthly, if you look at poaching, every year the global leather industry slaughters more than 1 billion animals for their industry. Many of these animals endure a lot of cruelty and are eventually slaughtered. So it is easy to find a high quality, cruelty free shoes and accessories that are stylish and inexpensive, and that is exactly what we provide for you. Handing over to Jadon.
So I'm going to talk about the USP, or we say the unique selling proposition. So first of all, as we were talking about sustainability, which we're going to bring into fashion, you might be thinking there are many fashion brands who might be doing this or are thinking of doing it better than us as per se. But we also are not only a product, we are also a service. We're going to use pineapple leather, apple leather. We're also going to use organic cotton to make our products and just sell it to the consumers in such a way that they will never have any questions or any queries against it. So what I'm trying to say is also that beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. So as a service, what we are going to do, what our aim is, that all these people who think they've been deserted from the population, they think they're meaningless, and people are being ruthless to them. As I said, people who have experienced body shaming, or have experienced traumatic incidents like acid attacks. We just want to tell those people that you are beautiful and you have something and you can contribute something to our world which can be priceless. These models will be given a sense of satisfaction and a sense of confidence, which would be genericized inside them, which no one would ever think about, and no one would ever like to bring this about because nobody wants to talk about it. We, as a product and a service, want to tell you and we want to engage with you that we are a team and we are going to make some change which everyone is going to see, and it's something that no one has ever done, and we are going to be as we say, a USP.
Okay, so moving on, I'm going to be talking about what our solution essentially is. Firstly, when we talk about the stubble burning problem, we're going to be taking the stubble from and agricultural waste from farmers to create clothes. This is being done from one of the companies abroad. So they basically take the wheat straws from farmers and essentially turn it into a product that we can market. And secondly, we would be spreading positivity, as Jed had already talked about, by using models to style in our clothes who have been neglected by society and have been made insecure about themselves and their bodies. thirdly, when we're talking about protecting animals, instead of using pure leather, which many industries use, we would be looking at alternatives, which are some of them are pineapple and cactus leather. These would also be helping to provide employment to farmers, which is also a very big issue that we face in India. And lastly, it's all about sustainable fashion. We're going to be using sustainable materials such as organic cotton and linen to make our clothes, which is something that is very important.
Hi, so I'm Shatabrati here. Now I'm going to take us through the target market. So number one comes the age group. So what our company is going to do is we are going to focus on the age group of 13 to 35, and we are going to create this fresh and appealing clothes for them. And of course, as Tanisha and Jether has already told, it's going to be completely sustainable and made up out of vegan. So next we go to geography. So basically we are going to use a light and absorbent materials, like like mixing the organic cotton with pineapple leather, which is a really good absorbent. And as we also live in a hot tropical country, I think that is what kind of material we really need. And when we go to the personal traits, our primary focus is going to be to the potential customers who actually want to give a favor to the environment friendly brands and are willing to buy the sustainable products. Also, we are going to actually have a kind of premium products made out of pineapple leather, apple leather, cactus leather, and stuff like that. So that's what we expect. And moving on to purchase habits. So we are expecting customers whose primary focus is on quality, because that is what our company does. We focus on one of the best vegan fabric designer clothing, so we expect them to actually prefer the premium products. Thank you. Handing it over to Arman.
So now I'm going to be talking about the revenue model of a company. The first parameter is about cost. Cost is basically the investment we have to make in our own company to create a product and make it available for our customers. This includes buying raw materials, labor costs, administrative staff, premises, machinery, sales cost and marketing cost, etc. After we have invested in our company and once the inaugural stock is available, we then build our company's website and side by side also become members of online portals like Amazon or Flipkart or any such companies. We then start our inaugural sales on Amazon or Flipkart, following the concept of unit economics, as told by our mentor Anukul sir. Then in about a couple of years time frame, when we have sold to some customers, we'll be able to amortize our cost on a monthly basis. Once we break even and have reference points, then we can start to slowly scale up by establishing live stores, expanding our network, and setting up branches. Like any entrepreneur, we'll be optimistic and obviously hope for the best. So now my friend Jitavati is going to be talking about our marketing strategy.
So yeah, as we have already discussed, this is a completely sustainable fashion clothing brand. So what we are going to focus in the next 2 months is designing and producing the premium products. And we believe to actually hire models from the complete diverse backgrounds, as Jayadhar and Tanisha had already spoken about people who have been had traumatic experience, body shamed and stuff like that. We want that we can provide a sense of equality and upbring them in our company. So we are going to hire people from diverse backgrounds, and then we are going to start our advertising in and through different social campaigns. And as Shoki sir had already said, marketing is one of the integral part of the company, so we hope to ace it well. Moving on to the 4th month, we kind of believe in direct selling, so we'll soon start our own website where we can actually sell the products. Also, our company believes in the vision, so we pretty much don't want to do partnership with other brands. Moving on, 1.5 year thing that we expect to scale up the setting by one store of the company. And also it is if it's a profitable venture, then Meraki will be engaged actively in producing sustainable clothing for differently abled. That is what we think. And in 3 years, we have gone through a lot of reports which actually say that 1 in 3 customers is willingly to pay more for the sustainable brands. So we actually believe that we can actually set up the company and open the different branches and able to expand it throughout the country. And one of the our vision is to create Meraki a lifestyle and not just a clothing brand. And we hope we can just actually do that. Handing it over to Arman.
In today's era, there are several companies who have targeted the fashion industry and have realized the need for sustainable fashion apparel. Our company, Meraki, is also on the same path to enhance and popularize the idea of sustainable fashion. But as we all know, there are always certain hindrances and competition in everyone's journey. We believe our competition with perspective to India to be Mayo Borsa, Spinova, and No Nasties. Mayo Borsa is a vegan leather bag brand based in New Delhi. This company produces stylish, cruelty-free bags using Pinatex, an eco-textile made from pineapple stems. The Finnish startup Spinova is known to be the only company in the world that manufactures wood-based textile fibers completely free of chemicals. No Nasties is a company based out of Goa producing 100% organic cotton vegan clothing. Meraki uses the very same material as used by our competitors, amalgamated with cactus leather and stubble. The actual catch is that these companies are focused on only a particular sustainable material and create fashion apparels using it. But our company combines the fragmented ideas and approaches of the other companies into one holistic brand, Meraki, creating sustainable, affordable, stylistic, cool trends which help combat prevalent social, economic, and global stumbling blocks. Next slide, please.
So like that, we come to the end of our presentation, and this is our team who have put all of their hard work into this project. We would just like to give you 30 seconds to go through the slides. Tanisha, can you go to the next slide?
So in the end, I just want to say that there was a very wise man many years ago. So as we know that 71% of the world is made up of water. So this guy had an idea. So let's just bottle this water up and sell it to people. What do they know? He became one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs, and we still have Kinley and many brands who are doing this. So what I'm trying to say from this is that always believe in yourself and never think that your idea is inferior or any other idea is superior to yours. If you have belief, and as Shoki sir always says, you should always be a storyteller. So I myself would like to introduce, hi, I'm Jaidir Kapoor and I am a storyteller. That's what Shoki sir has made me. And I would like to tell you
Wow.
and I would just like to tell you my story through all of this and the story of our team. And as Greta Rossi said, there's always a mountain above the one which you're aiming for. So we are going for the Everest and not the K2. So guys, please be ready, pack your bags because here we are coming.
Wow, thank you so much, Meraki team, and Jaider and everyone else, Jatavati, Ariman, Arman, everyone who's put in so much hard work. Shoki, we'll start with you being the fashion guy. You've been a model, you worked with a few sustainable fashion brands. What do you think? And I would love to hear some comments from your side.
Sure. Jaidev, you truly are a storyteller, man. You're becoming one. So interesting. Very nice presentation. I think the design you guys put in effort is fantastic. Like that plays an important role. At least a person is interested in knowing what's there in it, right? So now let's talk about your content. Can you roll back to USP, please? Yeah, second. Yeah. I don't see USP in it. Okay, so there is no USP. So your headline says unique selling proposition, but I don't see any USP in this. You have just described Meraki in other sentences. That's it. So when you say USP, that person should feel that this is something unique I've never heard. Now, here is a storytelling part. This is where you tell your story in that quickest line possible. It's your, you know, 5-second window. So in 5 seconds, whatever I can read and leave an impact, this is what you need to mention here. I think it's not giving me your USP clearly. Let's look at the next slide, please. Reducing pollution. Now, we will take stubble and agricultural waste from farmers in Northwest India and create glamorous, stylish, and cool design. Now, if you look at this and you look at overall model that you're trying to build, this part is not stitched with your product because when you look at the fundamental problem is not burning stubble. It's the problem is they are burning the roots, which is there, which they're not able to take out. Okay, so you need to when you say pollution, that you're still not solving the problem because they're using that husk for cows to eat or create containers, right? So there is a recycling happening, and also if they don't use it, if they throw it, it'll convert into manure again. So the concern is what happens with the root, which goes inside the soil. That they don't have equipment to take that out because that's a day. If you hire a tractor to do this, and I'm talking about low holding people because that's what a majority of India is of, people with low land holding. You will not be able to figure out the solution of root. So I think reducing pollution will be a difficult task here. And if you're going for finding a solution for it, then you go to the T, find a perfect solution in terms of your supply chain. When you're picking it up, you're saying that, okay, our revenue model is going to be solving that problem through XYZ mean. Maybe you will rent some equipment or you will do something which will actually help them, not by picking them. Picking is not a problem, right? So they're not burning husk, they're burning the root. So if you have a solution, that may be the reduced pollution side. And that adds up your supply chain, which is not mentioned in your overall presentation. That how will you manage that supply chain? And you're talking to rural guys, right? How will your truck reach there first thing? How will you map these smaller farmers, right? That's one. Can you go to revenue model, please? Yeah, I would want to see certain, like I would ideally see some bifurcation of estimated cost that you have, so that you talk about unit economics. So you need to see, you show us what is the cost to build one particular prototype in your head, over looking at least estimated, so that you know what your unit economics will be, what's your total cost, and how many units do you have to produce to actually sustain, right? So that you can definitely add. These are 2-3 points. From a model point of view, as I earlier said, there is already that wave in the market about sustainable clothing, be eco-conscious. I think there is a huge market available. It's just that you need to, if you're looking at providing an end-to-end solution, try to stitch every aspect of it together so that each one of these components complement each other. That's it.
Thank you so much, Shoki. We'll move. Sorry, Urmi, we don't have. We're going to make it quick because we're making you wait a lot. But any final comments from your side, Urmi, regarding this project?
Actually, there were just two or three. Some of them were in line with what Shoki was saying. That yes, I agree that I was myself not clear on the USP. So I mean, they need to just define that a lot more, because there are brands that are taking models from different different sections of the society who are not accepted, who are being called other titles as well. And so they need to find a good one where it's not just easily replicable from other brands. And I was not clear about, because at one point there was affordable word used, and then there were a couple of places where the word premium was used. So I think there is a I mean, they both are sort of on opposite sides in the, especially when you're trying to build a brand. And when you spoke about the first inaugural sale on different websites, what happens is that, in my understanding, these websites are not places where people go to buy premium clothing. So the kind of customer that you would want, that they understand your brand, they understand the value that you're providing, the story behind your brand, you may not find them, or you may find it very hard to nail that customer on these portals. So you may want to look at other websites or other resellers who are doing this, or then really go after building your own website and weaving a story around that, and then talking about Meraki as a story even on your website before people can see your products. And just last bit on like what Shoki said about the costing. Yeah, I would have liked to see, because this is such a capital intensive industry that you've picked up, that what are your fixed costs and how are your projected sales, and how does that boil down to the final average unit price of your product, right? And that is what is going to help you break even. And I think just doing online website sales may not be enough to generate that kind of a scale. So what other things that can you do as a brand to increase customer touch points, talk about your story, maybe do pop-ups in art exhibitions? That's where people who have a lot of spending power will come in, and they'll appreciate that art behind all of this. So yeah.
Okay, wow. Thank you so much for the valuable insights, Urmi and Shoki. Again, Jayder and Arman and everyone part of this project, we see the the oozing passion for this project. But please make sure that you do pay heed to whatever your mentors have told you today, and hopefully we'll see Meraki in the coming future, and hopefully be able to wear it soon. Okay, moving on to our second last presentation. We have gone through immigration, we've gone through fashion, and now over to team two for their final project.
Good evening, everyone. This is Group 2. We are here to present our business idea named Ergonomia. I'd like to request Rohan to take the presentation forward.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rohan, and I shall be talking about the problem that our service is solving and the introduction to our service. So, every professional or a regularly playing athlete or a sportsman faces the problem of shoes wearing out within a month or two. This induces them to shop for shoes on a very regular basis. Sale on goods do not take place on everyday aspects of the year too, thus making consumers pay full price for the shoes majority of the times, even though these products are bought quite regularly. Many times, the shoes that are also bought once worn land up in landfills, which cause a lot of land pollution and problems like shoes taking years to degrade, etc. Okay, so to solve these problems, we've started a subscription service where we introduce an online store that sells authentic sports shoes on a subscription basis. What makes our service unique is that we offer a huge variety of shoes and give the consumers an option for delivery on the subscription basis, such that time and money is saved to a great extent. The service achieving decreases can be returned to our delivery executives during their next upcoming delivery. So when these shoes are in a poor condition, this would be donated to ventures like Green Soul. So Green Soul is a venture. Hello? Green Soul is a venture in India that recycles shoes.
You're breaking a lot, actually.
Can I-
Can everybody hear him clearly?
No, it's breaking for me also.
Okay, so
Can you just give me a moment?
sure.
Are we continuing or will we wait?
I think we'll wait for Rohan because he said he needs a minute.
Am I audible and clear now?
Yes, yes, you are, Rohan. Go ahead.
Okay, so where shall I continue from?
You can continue from the next slide, from the introduction itself.
Okay. Okay, so to solve these problems, we've started a subscription service wherein we introduce an online store that sells authentic sports shoes on a subscription basis. So what makes our service unique is that we offer a huge variety of shoes and give the consumers an option for delivery on the subscription basis, such that time and money is saved to a great extent. This service helps in achieving economies of scale too. Customers have this unique option wherein shoes once used can be returned to our delivery executives during their next upcoming delivery. So when the shoes are in a really poor condition, these could be donated to ventures like Green Soul. Green Soul is basically a venture in India that recycle shoes, sells or donate recycle shoes and sell these or donate them. So when these shoes are received back and are still usable, they can be donated to various charities. Over to Neil.
In our brief market analysis, we studied 4 factors: industry analysis, the target market, our competition, and the pricing forecast. In the industry analysis, we've identified that the industry is highly competitive. The name brands often dominate the industry, such as Nike or Adidas, and e-commerce is emerging. Our target market is athletes between the ages of 14 and 38 years in India. And the competition that we've identified is, big online stores such as Adidas and Nike, and again, Amazon and other third-party sellers of those name brands. Our pricing forecast is a pair of shoes can often cost 2,000 rupees to 7,000 rupees approximately. So if an athlete needs a good quality pair of shoes every 4 months, they simply must pay approximately 18,000 rupees a year. And in this last point, we've derived this price point by taking factors such as quality, delivery prices, and frequency of deliveries.
So here is our unique selling proposition. There are absolutely no sports platforms that sell shoes to customers on a subscription basis. So through our organization, when shoes are sold on a subscription basis, keeping in mind the consumer's preferences, new and different shoes with different designs are delivered based on the subscription model chosen by the customer. Subscription can be taken either on a 6 months or a 1 year basis, and the customer can select delivery on shoes from a 1 month, 2 month, or a 3 month basis. If certain models of shoes aren't directly available on the site, they can be procured and delivered individually on the requests of the customers. Here is the SWOT analysis. So the strengths are that our platform is the only sports site that sells shoes to sports person on a subscription basis. By selling on a subscription basis, economies of scale is also achieved. The weaknesses faced by us is that the competition from online websites during sale, also the high discounts offered for shoes by other dealers, which is quite rare. Opportunities: if the firm is locally successful, possibility of expansion through the city. Online orders can also be taken to meet mass consumption requirements. The firm can start many other services such as streaming services on a subscription basis. The threats that can be faced by us in the future are the same people who can use the same business model or even non-timely payments by the customers.
We conducted a sample survey, and here are our key takeaways. So, over 50% of the samples responded that they are more choosy of the important features of the product, and about 46% of them aren't choosy about the selection for their shoes for their regular practice.
So then the next question that we asked them was, when you buy new shoes, do you buy the same model or not? To this, some customers replied that they are very particular about the key features that are required in their shoes and hence do not switch too often, whereas some of the other consumers are open to trying new models of shoes. The last question that we asked them was, when the shopkeeper knows your preferences for the characteristics of your preferred shoe, would you be excited about getting new and different shoes as per your preferences delivered? To this, our target consumers replied that they are open on trying the subscription model of our shoes when their preferences are known.
We're ready and equipped with the market analysis, consumer preferences, the problem, and the detailed solution. So, how will my target consumers know about our online store, which is a website? As per the Hindustan Times, the pandemic, as per the Hindustan Times, in the pandemic, the average screen time of a person on social media has increased by 63.28%. Can everyone who has Insta, FB, or Snapchat raise their hand? Well, that's a huge number. Taking advantage of the increased screen time, we have decided to make an Instagram page which will have one post every week and have Facebook handle too. And as per the same Times of India survey, the average time on an OTT platform has increased by 49%. By putting a yes in the chat box, can everyone tell if they have watched anything on Hotstar, Netflix, YouTube, or any other social media platform in the lockdown? Well, that's incredible. So we can have paid promotions on Hotstar or YouTube or any other social media platforms. During COVID, people started to trust WhatsApp forwards more. So there could be some propaganda on even WhatsApp or Signal for people nowadays. Then we start asking our friends and family and the people who we took the survey from to try our product and try our service and then tell the pluses and the deltas. Then when they are satisfied, we would ask them to recommend our service to their friends and families and other groups. So this chain would go on and we could reach out to the mass majority. I thank everyone for paying attention to our presentation. This was possible only because of the dedication of our team and with the support from Rishi and Nimish, and of course, the learning from our mentors, be it Shoki giving insights on marketing or Anukul who gave us the training to make a great pitch.
Okay, thank you so much. I think we'll start with comments from Urmi because she's an athlete herself. So would love to hear your thoughts, Urmi, and then over to Shoki.
Thanks, Rishi. So there are a couple of observations that I wanted to point out, and some things that my athletic background I can give you an insight on is that when you talk about athletes wanting to use shoes, it's a very important part of their training gear. And there is something called as gait, which is the way your feet move when you run or when you walk and when you train, and that's very unique to every person depending on their imbalances and strengths. And that's why having your shoe is very personal because of the way it changes the sole of the shoe with over a period of time. So even if you don't rather, even if you consider the wear and tear, normally an athlete would not be preferring to go for a subscription model. So maybe instead of thinking of targeting to this as an athletes, or looking at it to cater athletes alone, you could probably look at fitness enthusiasts or people who are looking to get into fitness, because that is where their willingness to spend more on shoes is less. So in this way you are able to target, it's like again a low hanging fruit, because they want to spend less but they want to try good quality shoes, and that's where you could come in. So maybe this is something that you could think about. Another thing is that I saw, is there if there's any particular reason that you're only choosing sports shoes, or is it, I was not clear about that, if it's only sports shoes or different kinds of shoe wear as well. And then
That's a great point, Urmi. Just would want to ask you there, should they
yeah.
actually focus on shoes for everyone? I mean, for people who are buying 6 or 7 pairs of shoes or maybe more in a year,
Mm.
and that's not specifically athletes, should
Mm.
they target those city consumers, women and men who do prefer to keep changing their shoes, or wanting to afford a
So
lot more than they can really afford?
That's a great question. It depends on the choice, but some of the questions that you can try to answer is that uh, a lot of like, for example, for women, then the whole field opens up, because the kind of shoes that women go for are from the dress shoes to your regular chappals to working out shoes to office shoes. Again, with men, then it goes a lot more into the different kinds of shoes. So the team can decide if you would like to maybe choose either gender wise and then go all out, because then that helps you create that bandwidth to really go deep into each gender and then expand to the other gender. Or then you pick another category of shoes. Let's say, for example, you pick smart casuals, because in fact, as I'm talking to you, it's something that's very coveted in this age group, and that's super expensive. Like, these shoes are more expensive than even your regular sports shoes. I'm talking about like your Nike Air Maxes, your Jordans, which are like, which go up to like 8 grand or more. So and that is where people will think 2 3 times to buy these shoes. And that ways, even if you're wearing shoes in lifestyle situations, the wear and tear is lesser. So even for you, as a the durability of each shoe as your asset will be a lot more, rather than going for a athletic shoe which is a short wear and tear. Then let's say, imagine I get a shoe which is a running shoe, and it doesn't fit my feet very well because the sole is already imprinted in a different way. I wouldn't be happy with my purchase, even though however clean the shoe is, however great laundry shoe that you have done. So yeah, maybe you would like to answer that question, and then expand your categories accordingly. And uh, yeah, I felt like in your USP, if you can go into your slide of SWOT analysis, I want to point out one thing over there, wherein you have mentioned, can you go back to your SWOT analysis, please? Yeah, here you mentioned that one of your strength and your USP is that no other website is doing this. Well, I know a brand that's doing renting for hiking equipment, so they're still doing hiking shoes. Having said that, if you see your threads is saying that if other people enter the market, so if at all other people entering the market is going to cause a threat to your brand, then it's no longer your USP. Your USP is something that will stay with you despite other entrants coming there. So you need to find another USP, or something, like I said, it's a value add. Think of something as an experience of how they will use the shoe. Maybe you give like a free pair of I'm just like giving ideas, but you can think of better ideas as to, maybe you give them a free running class if they've taken a running shoe. Maybe you give them a local, tie them up to a local running group if they've had rented a running shoe from you. So that ways you are actually helping them understand the application of your product in their life, and that is where you will get repeat customer value, right? So just think about your USP a lot more. And last one is, no one buys shoes once a month. So I just want to go to your survey. 1 second, can you go to your survey questions? One second. When you have to regular practice shoes, yes, they will definitely be choosy. See, if you see, okay, sorry, can you go back? So here, if you see, if you're too choosy, what are the characteristics? And the first thing they see is cushion on the heel and the type of grip and the fit. And this will differ with every foot. So you want to make sure that they are not then discarding you what they've rented from you or what they've subscribed from you on the basis of this not coming as not being satisfied. And the next slide, that's my last point. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah, so the thing is, the question may not have been understood properly. If I'm not, like, this is just my perspective, but when you get new shoes every month, do you buy the same model? Yes, every time when I buy a shoe, I do think of buying the same model because it has worked for me from before. And this I'm not saying for me, but in general, this you would see for people who are trying to get they don't want to experiment with new shoes. And then another thing is, generally people would not buy the same shoe every month. So yeah, that's it from my side.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again, Urmi. No one better to get comments, especially if you're thinking about shoes and fitness shoes specifically. But thank you so much, team, for putting in so much effort. Because we are running a little late, we'll move on to our last presentation. Really excited. Team 5, take it away.
So we are group 5 and this is Garden X. Have you ever thought about starting a garden and just don't know where to begin? Or you already have a backyard garden but just don't know what to plant or how to plant? Well, we are here. We at Garden X provide gardeners, both amateurs and professionals, with a stress-free and enjoyable gardening experience.
The main goal of our company, Garden X, is to promote gardening and help gardeners in urban cities to have an enjoyable experience while gardening. This would help indulge garden enthusiasts who indulge their interests in gardening and enjoy the activity. Our brand adds value as by gardening, you are making a difference to society and are influencing a great scheme. By implementing a compact gardening system in every urban home, we can effectively help the collective efforts to reduce the amount of global warming. Growing a garden can create habitats for smaller life forms like birds, insects, ants, and other species that thrive and reproduce in the ecosystem. As we provide non-toxic fertilizers and pesticides with no harmful chemicals in our kit, plants grow without any dangerous chemicals.
After a thorough review of different companies, we have found out that our target users frequently use these businesses: A Way to Garden, Candite, Garden Beast, Apartment Gardening, and Charles Dowding. All these businesses focus on one aspect of gardening, whereas at GardenX, we created a platform with all these features combined to make our customers' experience simple and easygoing.
How are we unique from the other market products? So basically, there are these elements that combine together to make us unique. Number one, the gardening kit. Number two, the apps that we provide. Number three, the tools and the containers that we will provide with the kit. In the gardening kit, we provide a high quality hybrid seed coated with a thin sheet of pesticides, and we also provide chemical-free fertilizers, which is made out of manure and biodegradable waste. Next, coming to the soil. So initially, while gardening, amateurs tend to mix different soil, and sometimes they use the wrong one for different plants. So over our kit, we also include the suitable soil for growing the plants that they choose. We also provide the supplementary products like eggshell powder and sawdust for better improvement in the plant growth. Over to Samanvi.
At GardenX for tools, we provide rust-free tools for longer durability. and provide special plant pots made of coconut cord instead of plastic, which helps the environment as GardenX supports eco-friendly items.
Our app contains a wealth of information ranging from how to start sowing your seeds to how to harvest it and everything else in between. You will get the solution to every specific problem for growing your plant. The packet of seeds bought from our website will have a QR code which can be scanned by our app. As soon as the QR code is scanned from the app, it will provide a step-by-step approach to grow the plant. The app also has a feature of clicking a picture of a plant and identifying what kind of a plant it is. The app has an encyclopedia based database which will help us better recognize the issues coming during growing the plant. The chatbot option will provide the user to input their problems, and the automated system will provide the solutions to the problem. The app will also set reminders for watering, adding manure to the soil, and if specific care is given for the plant. For example, exposure to appropriate sunlight. The app will also have access to the user's location, hence, it will be able to keep track of the weather conditions prevailing. Uh, the app can also so that we can take care of the plant in those specific weather condition. Can you move on to the next slide? So, like the aim of most of the businesses is to garner revenue from the product, so is ours. The way we aim to earn revenue is through three different means. That is selling our merchandise and gardening kits, advertisements on our application and website, and finally paper download. The ratio in which we propose to earn the revenue is 50% from selling the products, 40% from advertisements, and 10% through paper download.
Target customer. Our target customer are usually urban residents, especially in the metropolitan city with a compact home to stay. You may wonder why urban dwellers. So if you guys see the PPT in the survey, in front of you guys, there is a survey from Google Trends who are interested. Google Trends report interested in home gardening. If we go to the next slide, we can see that the survey is by the interest of sub-region, but they still lack in the proportional region compared to other regions. What happened to yeah? So if we see the slide, we can see that the survey is on the interest by sub region. The urban dwellers are interested in gardening, yet the proportional ratio is comparatively low. So in urban areas specifically, if we see the pollution rate and the population rate and the traffic, we tend to generate a lot of CO2, which causes the global warming. And therefore our brand values on the sustainable living and sustainable and eco-friendly living in the urban areas. Over to the next slide.
So marketing strategy is an important feature for every business. Unless we are not able to market our product and are not able to reach our target audience, our product would not be successful. So our marketing strategy is to beat all the competition by implementing smart marketing decisions, such as penetrating the market by providing lower prices through special discounts. Our means of selling will be through our website and app. We will be promoting our brand through making the use of different advertising techniques like social media, billboards, radio, and flyers, so that our presence is known to everyone and so that we can subconsciously influence people to buy our products. Apart from this, we want to make our presence being felt as an eco-friendly company, and to achieve this we will make the use of attractive biodegradable packaging and carrying bags to attract customers. A last marketing strategy would be the bait and hook. We'll sell our kits with the incentive of 3 free seeds, and once people are done planting those, they will come back to buy more seeds from us.
These are the results of an American survey sent out in 2017 where the audience was asked what were their favorite aspect of gardening. 74% went to being outside in the fresh air, 58% was to watch something grow and thrive, 54% was to being active, 53% to engaging with the nature, 52% to seeing the visible success afterwards, and 7% to only do gardening when necessary.
So this is the team.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, GardenX. Of course, I cannot imagine going to anyone else other than Shoki for this, being an avid gardener himself. Shoki, would love to know your thoughts on the last presentation.
I just installed my garden like day before yesterday. So yeah, so keeping that in mind, I definitely needed somebody like Garden X to take care of my garden. Unfortunately, I didn't have you guys, so I had to call this local gardener to fix my things. Um, but from a business point of view, it makes complete sense. There is a huge demand in the market. Also, another positive part is that because of work from home scenario, a lot of people are bored of working, sitting in front of their system. If they have to do something interesting, they can just step out and start taking care of the garden and come back and start jump on another call. So I think all the more currently looking at the situation, this works very well. I didn't see design was fantastic. I love the design. I think um, you had covered the essence very clearly. Marketing part is something which I wanted to see more on that, because I think that becomes very tricky, because gardening doesn't come naturally to us, though we love it, but it looks like, it sounds like an effort, right? That's the reason. Otherwise, you can always go out and start, plowing something. Um, but yeah, so that's the only thing, that the not the category education, but the habit forming part, that this becomes a part of your system. There are a bunch of books to look at. I know my own is laughing. There is a book called Nudge, which should give you an idea of how to make strong habit forming product. And another is Made to Stick. These two books, this group, and in fact, all of you should read. This should give you an idea of how, when you look at a product, how marketing is stitched with the product itself, and it becomes how do you create a habit forming products. So you know that this is not inherent nature that we go out and farm, because it's not there. Social media has ruined our lives that way. So if you have to integrate this, it needs to be some way gamified. It could be like just throwing ideas. It could be that your QR code, scan the picture of your how big your plant is, or your flower plant is, and send it to us, and we'll reward you with something. We'll send you those 3 seeds. One grows at this centimeter, or whatever. Like, there has to be some form of reward, so that the person is engaged. And that could be an interesting thing, because you are also, the underlying idea is also that you are a lot of people, when they are doing nothing, they either eat a lot, or let's make a cup of coffee, or let's have tea, or they while away. So you actually give a reason of something which is very constructive in nature, right? So it makes, to me, I loved the product. I didn't find flaws in this. It's that marketing can be pushed more, and gamification can be added to it. Otherwise, fantastic, guys. Amazing work done.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Rishi, I would like
Yeah.
to add a few points if you are okay with it.
Yes, please go on, Urmi.
Um, hey guys, I absolutely love the idea. I love the USPs also that you guys are providing as part of the experience, like the whole reminders, weather check, all of that, plant identification. Everything was really nice. I just have two additions if you would like to think about. One is that, in fact, it is very much related to what Shoki was saying about the habit formation. One way that you can do it, which he said, is that gardening doesn't come naturally to us, is form micro communities of already the existing users on the app. So you connect them and let them have some shared experiences. Maybe they share with each other how their garden is growing, and that is the beauty about gardening. So you're bringing that human satisfaction, or that humaneness into your product, which is more or less virtual, if you say so, from a customer to a business point of view. And another thing is, like, for example, you've mentioned about somewhere, I forgot where, it says in one of the P's you've mentioned that you will be doing all these fancy bags to promote it, all of that. Again, you can think of seed based greeting cards. Nowadays you have greeting cards that you can plant and water them, and you have a plant, so you can promote eco-friendly products as well by doing that. And lastly, regarding your revenue model, again, like there's mention of how you can do ads on your website and on your app. I was thinking, instead of doing something like that, you can have actually someone sign up for physical tutorial sessions where the gardener comes to you once in, let's say, 15 days and actually helps you gardens with you. So that ways you are able to generate, it's like an upsell to, or a cross selling to your consumers, and you are building again like the sustainability habit, because once someone makes me do it like 4-5 times, then I'm able to do it by myself. I have the confidence. So you're making more money, you are getting the consumer hooked on to gardening, and you're, yeah, so that's your revenue. That's it. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Urmi. Those are brilliant points, and thank you for sharing it with us. At this point of time, I would just like to thank whoever's was joining us throughout on YouTube Live. Thank you so much for being part of this program. I hope you enjoyed these projects as much we did building them and supporting them, and we hope to see you very soon. So on that note,